Welcome back to Retirement News Online. With the passing of the government stimulus package to address the pandemic, my guest Zach Abraham with Bulwark Capital in Seattle says that conceivably this could be the end of free markets. So Zach, thanks for joining us. Where are we right now?
The system is bankrupt. The whole system. It is bankrupt. It is structurally insolvent. For it to function proper, quote unquote properly, it has to have 0% interest rates. It has to have a central bank that prints money, step in and buy the debt. You know, nobody stops to ask the question, how is it that companies need bailouts when as of 3 months ago they were buying back tens of billions of dollars of stock? Isn't that an issue? Do you run your household like that? I don't know about you, but as a guy that runs a business, I keep 4 to 6 months of working capital on hand at all times, so we can make it through tough times for unforeseen challenges. And that's the reason the companies don't have to do that, or the reason they don't. You know, if this happened in 1956, Scott, they'd have furloughed everybody for 2 to 3 months. They would have probably paid them like 50% of their wages or 60% of their wages. They'd have been able to collect unemployment. The two together would have given most guys between 90 to 100% of their regular salary. And then the world would have gone back to normal. You'd have had a quote-unquote technical recession, but everything would go back to normal. The idea that a corporation is insolvent after it goes without revenue for 2.5 weeks, everybody's focused on the virus. I'm like, guys, that is a problem in and of itself.
Now, with the stimulus package in mind, what do we need to do to keep this from happening again?
You've got to acknowledge, first of all, I think you have to, that there are no perfect solutions. Letting the economy go into a complete now depression, you're cutting off your nose to spite your face. Is it technically the right thing to do? Yes, but the cost is too big. So you're going to have to resort to some bailouts. But everybody that needs a bailout, you give it to them, and you restrict them for 10 years from you set corporate salary maxes for them. You restrict them from purchasing their own stock. You restrict the amount of debt they can take on their balance sheet. If we have to bail it out, then we set the parameters. And then you convert that, whatever that bailout is, you convert it to a preferred stock or some type of equity, and that company pays the public back. And even after they pay the public back, they are still, you force them to move the supply chains back to the United States. And so you create, in my opinion, this legislative bubble that inside of this, because like I said, you know, I'm sitting here raging for free markets. We don't have them. That die has been cast. Okay. So if we're going to just, you know, what sense does it make just to hand them out money and go, well, we can't tell corporations what to do? Bullshit. If we've got to, if they can't manage their balance sheet and we've got to step in to bail them out so the entire economy doesn't collapse, we are going to tell them what to do. And we're going to mandate that they move their supply chains. You give them 16 months to get them back inside the United States. And you basically limit executive power. You got to separate them out. There are corporations in here that are getting lost in the wash that are actually doing the right things. But because everybody else didn't, they didn't get to enjoy the you know, parabolic rise to the upside, but now they're facing insolvency because of everybody else acting like an idiot, right? So those people, you give them a traditional bailout. You don't penalize them. But these companies that were out there buying back stock that I've been raging about on the show for 2.5 years, if they were doing that and you know, you take it case by case, you implement these draconian measures, and you tell them, all right, you guys need the bailout, you're going to get it, but your entire board is fired, your CEO is fired. We will mandate that any shares sold to them or awarded to them in the last 5 years are going to be forcibly divested. Any proceeds from sales of stock that was awarded to them in the last 5 years, they're going to be forcibly divested, and you know, and you clean house.
And are you saying now that this stimulus actually makes sense because we really don't have a choice?
Would a healthy economy need help throughout this? Yes. And that's what it's there for. And, you know, even in free markets like ours, governments should step in times of trouble like this and stimulate and do things. And then when the storm passes, the government recoups what it was that they had to plug in, right? and you get back to normal. But that's not what they did.
That's Zach Abraham in Seattle, Washington, and this is Retirement News Online. Thanks for watching.